Yo, what is good, guys? Yet again, another interesting day. You had some red, and tomorrow, if you do not know, CPI numbers are coming out 1 hour before market open. Now, yes, CPI numbers are important, but in this video, we're gonna take kind of a step outside of the box and really look at the bigger picture, just outside of the CPI numbers, so you can really see the bigger picture and what the market wants to do. So, we're gonna be taking a look at the pulse zones, phantom bars, fractals, stuff people don't really look at, the more controversial stuff, but you'll see the success of it, and I just really want you to see, kind of expand your vision and open your eyes to what else is out there. So, with all that being said, we're just going to hop into it. Make sure to show the video some love, give it a like and subscribe, and we're going to get into it. So, to start off, you are testing a very important support here. And yesterday you had that shooting star on SPX, which got confirmed today, but you need continuation for it to really be solidified, for that reversal to really be kind of like a surefire thing to happen. So you're testing this today, and that sequence count, that yesterday you had that 9 count, and I said you're very likely to get that reversal after that 9 count, and that's what you got. So it's starting here. You closed underneath this candle, so that's pretty big in terms of getting your reversal. But first thing I want to show you is the point and figure chart, which I showed you yesterday. This is just kind of an update to show you how it went and what this can show you that you can't really see with the candles. So point and figure chart. So you get a 30-minute. I believe this is what we were looking at it on. And what do you know? You got rejected right at that, right at the top of that range, and very, very solid rejection so far. So we're really just gonna be kind of taking like a little look at that every day. But that's it for that chart. And first off, I'm going to show you the pulse zones that I was looking at today. And so far, these things have had a 100% success rate. They do not miss in terms of time frame estimations and price target estimations. So you'll see what I'm talking about. We're going to put this back on the candle, and then we're going to take a look at it. So this was on SOXS. If you're in the Discord, you know we made some money on this. Today it ran 17%. We hopped out close to the top, but this is really something I'm only sharing with the Discord mainly. But I'm just going to kind of show you how it goes. And for the Discord, I'm giving the projections, on here, just the updates to show you the success of it. So this has a lot to do with Elliott wave theory, speed resistance fans, and Fibonacci time zones, and Fibonacci measurements. So there's a lot of stuff you got to combine here, but let me show you how this plays out. So you have your signature resistance, and you get your retracement. So once you know where the top and bottom is of that first wave, you can start putting in the phases, layers, and zones. And once you break that signature resistance, you get into your first target range, and you get that retrace into your next estimated range. So I'm gonna show you how it played out. You're attempting that signature resistance. You break it, you go to your first pulse zone, you get your retracement, and now this is where you get. So you hit that first pulse zone, and this is where I sold, and probably some others in the Discord took their profits, but I sold out at somewhere around here, so pretty close to the top, and I'm looking for that retracement for our next entry, which if you want to be a part of, join the Discord so you can see how we're playing all of this. But yet again, another success. So hits those pulse zones and just does its thing, and it's respecting that velocity that it needs for it to get to those measured ranges. So once again, that was a success. So the other thing I want to move on to now is this, I guess, fractals. Now, I wasn't sure if I wanted to put this on YouTube just because of how, I guess, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I decided that I want to show you guys this, but this has been a fractal, or a repeated, I guess, cycle of price action that's happened more than once, and it has extremely significant similarities. So these are the fractals. I don't really know what I want to call this, but it's definitely a fractal. So everyone's really been comparing, like, oh yeah, this is similar to the March rally. But if you take a closer look, the whole structure of this entire, I guess, price action phase zone, whatever you want to call this, it's very similar. You have Actually, I want to show you. So I was looking at this pattern a long time ago. I could not figure out what the specific structure was, but I could really see similarities with these areas. And this is whatever this time was in July. So right here, actually, somewhere around here, I was like, there's something here, but I don't know what it is. And you can see me constructing it, and I finally found that today. And you can just kind of look at this for reference. But what you have happening right here is you're going into this. I'll put this up as well. Those 34-day cycles, and just to quick point this out, the similarities with the MACD and RSI on the daily. Comparing to these time frames, the orange lines are CPI, the days of CPI. You get your crossovers right before it, and even in the past. It seems like CPIs maybe are the markers for shifts in kind of like price action or the direction or whatever you want to call it. But you got your RSI crossover through the moving average, and you got your crossover on the MACD on the daily, a little before CPI. So that's coming up. It's not always going to be similar. That's how fractals are. There's not perfect similarities in some cases. I mean, go back to I made a video on like phantom bars and CPI fractals or something like that, and it's literally identical, but in most cases it's not. So there's definitely similarities where you get this, just these lines, and I'll even make it more clear by taking the candles away, and you can see the construction of these lines. It is almost identical to the angles of the lines as well. So, and you even have the similar structure in the area where it broke out from. Right here you get your move up and a very sharp move down here. Yeah, it's insane. And you have an exhaustion gap at the top, and of course you have that main gap, which if you're in the Discord, I pretty much discovered the algorithm of how gaps kind of guide the way for the market, where you have main gaps and then you have like a whole structure underneath it, and it's interesting stuff. It's crazy how it all really works out. So again, join the Discord if you want to see more of this stuff, because it's kind of a deeper look into what's happening in the market. But regardless, that's that fractal, you're getting near the similarity of where you have these price shifts, and this stuff happens all the way back to 2011. But I'm probably not going to show you guys that. That's something if you want to look at it on your own, go for it. But you're also coming into this cycle here where we've been watching for a few weeks here, and normally it starts to go down into the end of these cycles, but in this case it did not, which is pretty interesting. There was just a lot of momentum on this move, but I'm going to put up those cycles. So what happened today, or yesterday actually, that was the end of the 34-day cycle. You got a move down, and that was definitely noticeable. I'm trying to show it so you can see where it's noticeable, and I'm going to take this off. You're going to want to see how this price reacts with this line here, because that's really its last support here, kind of. So that's a line you want to be watching, but we're going to put this on logarithmic scale. And what happened here? This is the macro line that I've showed you plenty of times now that goes back to COVID. Go back to my last video, you can see how I drew it out, but you get your gap up. You gapped up right on top of that macro trend line, and right on the day of this cycle ending, and you got your down move. So really just something pretty interesting to note. So in theory, you're going to see a shift in price action that will be noticeable very soon. So I showed you the pole stones, I showed you the fractal, and I'm going to show you some phantom bars that we have on SPY. As you know, these hit pretty often, and we actually hit the last. I pointed out this phantom bar quite a while ago, somewhere around here, but this one was at 415, 415.76. You hit that yesterday, so you have no more phantom bars to hit. You only have phantom bars to the downside, which could signal, the institutions are ready for these targets to get hit to the downside. You have them at the 380s. There was one at where did it go? there was one at 390 somewhere, 391. So my point is there are phantom bars really only to the downside right now. So that's it for the phantom bars. Those are things you just want to have in mind. The cycles, I showed you that, the sequence count, pulse zones, weekly RSI. This is really big. This is actually really important. Something you want to be watching for the next 2 weeks specifically, I would say, is the weekly RSI. The weekly RSI is at 50 right now. It is still technically in a bearish control zone. So what this means is that, on a macro scale, this is where it can get rejected. And that's what I believe. I've been shorting every time we touch the top of this macro trend line. So I have my positions all set. We're going to see how CPI goes, but this is something you really need to be paying attention to. The weekly RSI, it is at 50, which is still in the bearish control zone. So you have all your divergences, it's overbought. I don't need to show you that stuff, but that's really the big stuff I want to show you. Just there's a lot of stuff lining up for a shift. And the last thing I'm going to show you, I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, XPI, we're shorting in this range, it broke out, I had to take my loss, and I re-shorted up here because of everything, all the signals I've seen, that supply zone, this really big trend line, the Elliott wave count, and I gave this really a 100, this has, if you're in the Discord, if you bought in earlier, 100% chance of being a success just because of all of the requirements that needed to be there were there. So this has been a success. It was up like 17% today, dropped a little earlier in the day. Lab D, which is the inverse, we picked that up in the demand zone. So a lot of interesting stuff happening, a lot of money making opportunities outside of SPY. So I really don't have anything else to show you. We're just gonna have to see how tomorrow goes. So I would not be surprised if it goes up. I won't be surprised with whatever direction it goes. I'm really just paying attention to what happens the next few weeks because it's coming. You know what my bias is. You know what I'm thinking. It's coming. It's only a matter of time. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. Make sure to check out the Discord. Trust me, there's a lot of stuff to be reading and learning from in there. So that's why I'm going to leave this video. Make sure to show it some love if you watch the whole thing through. Give it a like and subscribe so you always know what's coming next. And that's why I'm going to leave this. So peace out, guys.